My YouTube channel finally reached 250 subscribers, and today I will demonstrate this 100 watt high power LED. This LED is made of 100 LEDs, and it needs a heatsink because it gets very hot. This heatsink also has a fan attached to it because this LED generates a lot of heat. And those two black spots, those were caused from an experiment, and they weren't on this LED originally. This LED is attached to the heatsink using some thermal glue, and I will turn on the LED at a low power. I have my LED connected up to my power supply and a few multimeters here. This multimeter shows the voltage going to the LED, and this multimeter shows the current flowing through the LED. This LED requires around 30 volts to turn on, I think. So I will increase the voltage. See, it's starting to turn on at around 24 volts. It's quite dim. It's using like 0.1, 0.2 milliamps. We'll increase the voltage. The current is 1.5 milliamps and the voltage is 25 volts. Not much power going through the LED, and it's putting out a bit of light. I can increase it even more. My power supply is kind of malfunctioning. There's around 54 milliamps going through this LED. It's quite bright. 26 volts. I'll put the power calculation on screen, and it's quite bright. But what's going on? I know what was happening, but this is quite bright, and if I will change the range on my multimeter and increase it even more. Oh, this is bright. Current limited? What? Oh my gosh. It's around 30.6 volts, 0.98 amps. The power calculation will be on screen. This is, I think, around 30 watts. The heatsink will start to get warm. It's very, very bright. I'll put it where my light is and then turn it on. Alright, let's turn it on. You can see it's quite bright. If I turn off this light, it's very bright. The camera's not adjusting to the color because it's set to the color of the light above my workbench. And the heatsink's already getting warm. But there is one problem with this. This bench power supply that I normally use can't supply enough voltage to run this at full power. So I will add this 16 volt 4.5 amp laptop power supply in series. This is a terrible idea, but I've done this before with this specific power supply and it worked. This is a mess. It's not fitting on screen, but at least you can see the multimeters. I'll plug it in and see if it works. I turn on the switch. Okay, it's working. Now I will turn on my other power supply. Increase the voltage a bit. It's clearly working. Now the maximum current for this LED is around 2.8 amps. Oh my. So, oh my gosh. 2.8 amps at 36 volts. The thing is not warm currently, but it will get very hot with continuous operation. I'll turn it off. That's impressive. The LED is getting warm. I'll turn on the fan and try and run it. I've connected the fan to an external 12 volt power supply. And I've set up everything. This is the DC voltage and this is the current. Turn on the switch. 16 volts from the laptop adapter. That'll increase the voltage. It's turning on. There, the voltage is 36.2 volt and the current is like 2.78 amps. The LED is at full power. It appears to be working. I can turn this off. It's quite bright. This thing is ridiculous. With the fan running, the LED will stay cool. We'll turn it on. Wow. It's impressive. It's crazy bright. Turn off my workbench light. My workbench light, which is a 10-watt LED bulb, doesn't really make much of a difference now with a 100-watt LED. Now I will try and fix my camera color settings. I fixed my camera color settings so it adjusted to the 100-watt LED, and it's looking nice. Workbench light is off. Now, workbench light is on. If I turn off the LED, how dim this thing is compared to the LED. It's impressive. I have one more test I'd like to try. I want to see how well this LED would light up outside at night. I've got the LED sitting in this chair. Now I'll try and turn it on. Oh, it's nice. I can turn this one off. Now I'm going to turn. There it is. That's full power. Look at how much it lights up the backyard. This does nothing. I'll turn on my other light. And this one off. Now the LED. Now off. It works pretty well.